International Criminal Court on Thursday ruled that Ivory Coast former President Laurent Gbagbo can leave Belgium under certain conditions following his acquittal last year over post-election violence that killed 3,000 people. I want to get the very latest and get a perspective. Evariste Kotchi is on the line, Secretary General of the Ivorian Popular Front, which is Laurent Gbagbo's political party. Evariste, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
All right, talk to us about this ruling by the ICC saying that Mr. Gbagbo can leave Belgium under certain conditions. What are these conditions?
Yeah, in fact, you know that previously Laurent Gbagbo was set free, but unfortunately this freedom was not complete. He was still being held in Brussels, and then he would be between Brussels and the Hague court, where he will go for different court procedures, but now it has changed. So the Chamber of Appeal has decided to change the previous condition of the liberation of Gbagbo and Blegude. So since Thursday the 28th of May, it's no more about going to the different judiciary institution to sign before moving between Brussels and The Hague. Now they can go beyond borders. They are no more being held as prisoners of the International Criminal Court. They can now keep their passport with themselves, their passport or their ID documents, and they can also travel anywhere they want. In other words, this is a very big step forward for their freedom.
So a step forward, Mr. Kotchi, but I'm interested to find out why set conditions in the first place when he was acquitted by the ICC?
Come again, you mean why first of all those conditions?
Yeah, why set those conditions in terms of leaving Belgium under certain conditions? Yeah. Why set it in the first place when he was acquitted?
Yeah, this is simple. Remember that this court case is not an ordinary one. It's a political court case manipulated by the mother colony that is France and the current political regime in power in Côte d'Ivoire led by Mr. Alassane Dramane Ouattara. They never wanted Gbagbo to be free because he is a patriot who is fighting for the interests of Côte d'Ivoire and for the interests of Africa. You know, our former colonizers don't want this type of people in power or at the head of their country. This is unfortunately the situation President Laurent Gbagbo was in because he is one of the sons of Africa who has always wanted all the resources of Africa to be for Africa.
Mr. Kotchi, just take us back. If I recall correctly, this was about a 3-year trial, wasn't it? What took place during this trial, and what does it say about the ICC's mandate?
The mandate of the ICC is, in fact, to judge all the war criminals on the continent and all over the world. But Gbagbo is not a criminal. As I told you initially, Gbagbo is a democratically elected president who was still in power when the French fabricated a rebellion claiming that there was a division between the Muslim north of Côte d'Ivoire and South Christian in Côte d'Ivoire, but which was not the case in fact. This is a fabricated rebellion in which, after a so-called war, the French wanted to manipulate the international opinion for them to have Gbagbo kicked out of the political arena, for them to loot all the resources of the country. So the International Criminal Court is also involved because they have been bought. They have been, in fact, corrupted, especially by the people like Don Campos Moreno, who received a lot of money from the current regime of Côte d'Ivoire with Mrs. Fatou Bensouda, and then their duty was to keep President Laurent Gbagbo in prison or in jail as long as possible for them to keep looting the country.
Mr. Kotchi, those are strong allegations against the ICC. Do you have any proof?
These are not allegations. These are not allegations because they want you to be away from this reality. They want to keep you far away from this truth, for you not to understand what's going on in Côte d'Ivoire. Because Alassane Ouattara has been a fabricated monster from Burkina Faso. By the year 1982, he was still a student in Burkina Faso. He was the Secretary General of the community of Burkina Faso in New York. How come this person, after 2 years, was made as the Director General of the International Monetary Fund, and finally was projected onto the political arena of Ivory Coast, where Mr. Evariste Kotchi, as the president of our country by the years 60 to 1993, was compelled to accept him as the prime minister of the country. This is how the whole scenario started. So we couldn't have a say on that. Reason why they want you also not to understand what's going on in Côte d'Ivoire. Otherwise, as the citizens of Ivory Coast, the citizen of Ivory Coast, as the Secretary General of the Gbagbo Laurent Party in South Africa, we are more aware of what's going on.
Mr. Gbagbo was cleared in early 2019. What has he been up to ever since?
He was cleared. He was cleared, but they didn't want him to recover his full freedom, because by giving him the unconditional freedom, he will be free to come to Côte d'Ivoire to take part in the election, the presidential election of the country. They didn't want him to be free. They didn't want him to get ready. They didn't want him to get organized for him to win the elections again. So they wanted to keep them away from his nation as far as possible for them to keep doing whatever they want to do in Côte d'Ivoire the way they do it. They have been doing it in the whole African continent.
So what's Mr. Gbagbo's future plans as you understand it? What's next for him?
Gbagbo is a patriot. Gbagbo is being expected by the whole Ivory Coast. Since Thursday, the 28th of May, when they announced that Gbagbo is fully free, that he is going now to get back his passport to travel, the whole Ivory Coast is dancing. We are expecting the prodigal son to come back home, to take the place that is, or the seat that is his, for him to start ruling over the Ivorian. We have always been expecting him.
This is no doubt a developing story. We're going to keep a close eye on this story. But we thank you very much indeed, sir, for your time and your perspective.
You're welcome.
All right, Evariste Kotchi there on the line, Secretary General of the Ivorian Popular Front, which is Laurent Gbagbo's political party.